Well, now here one setting is complete. Yes, the setting is complete. Well, Salam Habibi, how are you? I hope you are fine. It is me, Michaela Santa. Welcome to you to my Misogynist channels. Accordance with titles, yes, today we are roasting here our honorable ugly girl Muskan Madans, and here, well, reaction on the same shorts, but now today's topic is about the uh, intelligence of women, and here we can see here we can comparisons between the Bashundhara real estate group versus Ketan Agarwal, the Indian real estate businessman to be eliminated by Sia Gosal. And now here we can see the points. What is the matters? Here I would show you. But first of all, now let's check it. Okay. Now here we can see this point. So here, here is the question of Muskan Madan, that why leadership is masculine and why financial literacy is masculine. Now she stated that Muskan Madan stated that here is a trend that if women give up their intelligence, they can be attractive. And now let's check it. So here we are discussing the intelligence of women's. I mean the intelligence of the toxic feminist. Okay. Now let's check it. Well, it is the following videos of our Haifa city of Israel. Here several building contains the 200,000 stories. Okay. And now let's check it. In Cairo, the city of Egypt, here every building contains almost 100 stories, right? And now let's check it. What's going on? Now, who is Bashundhara Real Estate Group's Chief Executive Officer? That is here Ahmed Akbar Sobhan. And here, now let's check it. Who is Bashundhara Real Estate Group? That is the Bangladesh Real Estate Group of Bangladesh. And Ketan Agarwal Real Estate Business. And now let's check the moments. Here we can see here is an handsome man named Ketan Agarwal. It is the left side. Okay. Now we can see this is the moments. He is the most handsome man in the real estate business. And now let's check at the moments. Okay. Now here we can see. Here we can discuss the comparison between Bangladeshi Bashundhara Real Estate Group versus here Ketan Agarwal's. And here, now let's check it. As we know that cost of 100,000 building is almost 40 trillion United States dollars. Hence, here 200,000 storage building, that would be here 80,000 trillion United States dollars. Okay, and now let's check it the moments. And here we can see, now let's clear the moments. Okay, and here, now let me contest a disclaimer before with starting the discussion to comparisons between Bangladeshi real estate group Bashundhara versus Indian real estate businessman Ketan Agarwal. Here we can see the points. If Indians contents man population to be decreased, here productivity would be decreased, and in these cases, when productivity would be decreased because of man population to be decreased, in that case, gross domestic products of India would be decreased. And here, enemies of India like Bangladesh can get benefits if and only if Indian gross domestic product can be decreased. Okay, and now it is the disclaimers, and now let's just start the comparison between Bashundhara groups versus Ketan Agarwals. Okay, now here the purpose to comparison is that to find out that why Sheikh Ghoshals eliminate Ketan Agarwals, the honorable real estate businessman just next to Gautam Adani. And now let's check the moments. And in this cases, both of Ketan Agarwals and Bashundhara group probably contains the future project in Haifa, the city of Israel, as a real estate project, where Ketan Agarwal's project is here to build a Haifa, the city of Israel, with the buildings of 200,000 stories. Where, on the other hand, here Bashundhara group want to build almost 32 storage building in Haifa, the city of Israel. And now, here we can see these points. Here we can comparisons at moments. Now let's check it. Well, 100,000 stories here structural steel requires almost 3 billion metric tons. And now we can see hence 100 storage building, it would cost the structural steel to be here 3 million metric tons. Now what is 3 million divided by 3? That is 1 million. That for the structural steel to build here 32 storage buildings. Okay, and now let's check the moments. Now what is the points? Now if a building would cost here structural steels where the storage is 200,000, in that cases, now the structural steel would cost almost 6 billion metric tons. That means 6 trillion kilograms. And now, in these cases, here we can see the points. Well, for 3 million, I forget, for 3 billion tons of structural steels, it requires almost 6,700 cargo ships. Hence, here for 6 billion tons, it would require almost 6,700 multiplied by 2 ships. Now, what is 67 multiplied by 2, that is 134. That means it requires almost 13,400 ships. But on the other hand, what about here is the perceptions of Ketan Agarwal. And what is the perception of Bashundhara groups? In that cases, here, 100 storage building, it would cost about 67 ships. That now, if the building would be 32 stories, that would cost almost cargo ship to be the number of 22. And now, let's check out the points. According with Ketan Agarwal, he requires almost 13,400 kilograms. I have looked at 13,400 cargo ships. On the other hand, Bashundhara Bangladeshi Real Estate Group requires almost 22 cargo ships. And now, here is the significant momentums at the points. Well, now here we can see constructions is a part of the real estate business, and here structural skills carrier cargo ship is required. And now, okay, I think here we can see that is the significant moments. Well, and now let's check it. Well, here we can see this points here. Naval distance between Mumbai, the city of Israel, versus here Haifa. I apologize. Here the departure is Mumbai, the city of Maharashtra, provincial state of India, and here arrival is here Haifa, the city of Israel. The naval distance is almost 28,784.2 nautical miles. And now here we can calculate what is the meanings of 28,784.2 nautical miles. That is almost 53,308 kilometers, 338 meters, 4 millimeters. I mean 400 millimeters. And now, what is the round figures? Yeah, we can state that the meaning of 28,784.2 nautical mile means almost 54,000 kilometers. And now, here we can see these points. And now, let's check at the moments. Now, here we can see what about the Bashundhara groups. Here we can see these points. Bashundhara group's cargo ship velocity is 54 km per hour. On the other hand, here what about Ketan Agarwal's business? Well, Ketan Agarwal cargo ship velocity would be here 54 multiplied by 5,000 km per second. Now here you can see this points. What is 54 multiplied by 5? That is almost 250 sum by 20. That is here. That's what is the moment? That is here 270,000. Hence here Ketan Agarwal's velocity is 270,000 km per second. As a Ketan Agarwal's cargo ship velocity, where Bashundhara Real Estate Group's cargo ship velocity is 54 km per hour. Now, here is the moments I would state the benefits of the cargo ship velocity to be 270,000 km per second. That would be almost 90% velocity of light. Now, what is the benefits? Here we can see the points. Now here we can see the departure would be July 2, 2026, morning 6 o'clock, and arrival time would be morning 6 o'clock, 0.2 second past, July 2nd, 2026. If and only if the cargo ship velocity would be 270,000 kilometer per second. And now that is the significant benefits as we could see. Well, now here let's contest the mentions about the discussions that what is the cons of the cargo ship velocity to be 54 km per hour. Okay. Now here naval distance between Mumbai, the city of here we can see the points here. Departure would be Dhaka, the city of Bangladesh, and arrival would be Haifa, the city of Israel. And in these cases, here Haifa, the city of Israel, and here naval distance would be 54,000 kilometers, and naval velocity is 54 km per hour. That means here the significant moments, the naval timing would be 1000 hours. Now what is 1000 hours? That is 83 days, 4 hours. Okay. And now here we can see this point. So what is 83 days, 4 hours? Well, July contains 30. Now today's date is July 2nd. And now 83 sum by 2 is 85. 85 starts from July 1st. Now July contains 31 days. August contains 31 days. Well, now what is 85 subtracted by 62? That is here 23. Okay. Now here we can see the points. Now that means here arrival date is September 23rd, 2026. Now what is the timing? The morning 6 o'clock sum by 4 hours. That means here morning 10 o'clock. Now that means the cons of 54 km per hour is when naval distance is 54,000 km per hour. Here as a naval distance. Now naval timing, we can say the departure time would be morning 6 o'clock, July 2nd, 2026. Arrival time would be morning 10 o'clock, September 23rd, 2026. And now that is the significant cause we have to calculate. Okay. And now that is the moments and the points. And here we can see in the discussions of velocity and travel times, here we are trying to point that what is the intelligence of Sheikh that why Sheikh is purposing the moments. Well, Sheikh eliminate Ketan Agarwal, where Ketan Agarwal is future husband of Sheikh. Now, before eliminations of Ketan Agarwal, here we can see the accepted head contractor, real estate businessman Ketan Agarwal's velocity is 270,000 km per second as a cargo ship velocity. But after the elimination of Ketan Agarwal, here we can see who is the competitor of Ketan Agarwal. Bangladeshi Bashundhara real estate group. Their velocity would be 54 km per hour as a real estate cargo ships. Now where is 270,000 kilometer per second and where is 54 kilometer per hours. That is here the significant difference at the moment. Now here is the probable calculations that the Y Shia Gosals eliminate Ketan Agarwal. Basically, in this point that Shia Gosal is purposing here the Shia Gosal is serving the destinations of Bangladeshi Bashundhara groups. And here, for Bangladeshi Bashundhara groups, here Ketan Agarwal is the top competitors, and in these cases, Bangladesh to serve the purpose of Bangladeshi Bashundhara groups, Sheikh is dedicated to eliminate whom her future husband Ketan Agarwal. Okay. Now here we go. It is the topic of the velocities. And now, as the discussions of the travel times here, departure time is morning 6 o'clock, July 2nd, 2026. Now here we can see, what if Ketan Agarwal would be alive in lieu of existence in heavens? Now what would happen at the points? Well, Ketan Agarwal's arrival time would be morning 6 o'clock, 0.2 second past, here July 2nd, 2026. And now, when Ketan Agarwal has been on the way to heavens, now who is alive? The Bangladeshi Bashundhara real estate groups. And now, Bangladeshi Bashundhara real estate group is accepted contractor to be arrived on Haifa, city of Israel, with the arrival time to be morning 10 o'clock, September 23, 2026. And now, here is the chronology. Where is arrival time to be morning 6 o'clock, 0.2 second past, here July 2nd, 2026, and where is arrival time to be morning 10 o'clock, September 23rd, 2026, where departure time would be morning 6 o'clock, July 2nd, 2026. And now, that is here significant terms at the moments. And here we can see that is the points. Well, here I have discussed the significant terms to be notified as a velocity and travel times. But now, here is the moment that I have forgotten that I have to mention about the kinetic powers. Well, let me contest the calculations of the kinetic energies. Okay, now here when we can talk about Ketan Agarwal's. Now Ketan Agarwal's kinetic powers can be calculated as a method of Albert Einsteinian kinetic powers. Now let's take it. First of all, here we contest the kinetic energies calculations. Okay. Now here we can see this is the moment that would be the significant terms. Okay. Now here we can state the points. Cargo ship's empty weight is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 8 tons. And here and now one cargo ship can carry here almost 65, I apologize, 45 multiplied by 10 to the power 7 kilograms. When cargo ship's empty weight is 2 multiplied by 10 to the power 8 kilograms. That means One cargo ship payload is here 65 multiple by 10 to the power 7 kilograms. Okay. Now here you can see is when the storage building, when the building would be 100,000 storage. In that cases, the buildings require the structures still to be 3 billion tons. That means 3 multiple by 10 to the power 12 kilograms. But now here we can see now buildings is 200,000 storage in lieu of 100,000 storage. That means your structural steel carried cargo ship requires is 13,400 ships, cargo ships. Now here we can see that is the calculations that what is weight of that is the total payloads, and here we can see that is the moments. Well, here we can see the sponsor 13,400 multiple by what? That can be multiple by here bracket 65 multiple by 10 to the power 7, and now let's check it the moments what's going on. That is here 8.71 multiple by 10 to the power 12 kilograms. Okay. And now here we can see the sponge. Well, what is here? What is the statistic energy of 13,400 cargo ship if with the complete payloads? Here the calculation is almost 8.71 multiple by 10 to the power 12 multiple by here 9 multiple by 10 to the power 16. The calculation is clear. 871 multiple by 10 to the power 10 multiple by 9 multiple by 10 to the power 16. Now what is the summations of 16 is by 10? 16 is sum by 10 is 26. Okay. Hence the calculation is 871 multiple by 9 multiple by 10 to the power 26. And now here is the moments now we control the proper calculations as we requires. Okay. Now here we can see this the proper calculation is as some the requirements. Well, 871 multiple by here 9 multiple by 10 to the power 26. And now let's check at the moments what is going on. Well, the statistic energy is to be well 1 2 3 783.9 multiple by 10 to the power 27. As a round figures, as we can say, the statistic energy is 784 multiple by 10 to the power 27 joule as a statistic energy of whom? The statistic energy of here the cargo ship 13,400 cargo ship, the payload of the structural stills. Okay. And now let's check at the moments. Now what is the kinetic energies calculations in this points? Here we have to calculate here a value of lambda subtract by 1. Okay. Now what is the Ketan Agarwal's cargo ship velocity to be? 270,000 kilometer per second. That is almost here 90% velocity of light. Okay. Now here we can see now what is the following calculations? And here we could notify the significant following calculations at the moment. Now let's check it. Well, bracket of 1 divided by bracket of square root of bracket of 1 subtract by 0.81. Okay, and now let's check it. Enter bracket, close. Now here is the value of lambda to be what? That would be 2.29415. I apologize. It would be 2.29416. Now what is lambda subtract by 1s? Now in this cases that would be almost 1.29416. Okay. Now let's check is what is the kinetic energies. And in this moment the kinetic energies is here static energy multiple by bracket of lambda subtract by 1s, and here where the calculations is 784 multiple by 10 to the power 10 to 7, that multiple by here 1.29416. And now let's check it. What is the kinetic energies at the moment? That is 1.015 multiple by 10 to the power 30 joules. Okay. Now let's check it. What is the kinetic power? That is kinetic energy divided by travel times. Now here we can see 1.015 multiple by 10 to the power 20 joules. I apologize. 1.015 multiple by 10 to the power 30 joules. That can divided by 0.2. Then what is the moment of that? The calculation is 1.015 multiple by 10 to the power 30 multiple by 5. And that is almost 5.075 multiple by 10 to the power 30 watts. Okay. Now what is 30? That is 24 sum by 6. And what is 20? That is here 9 sum by 15. Okay. Now that means here we can see here we can state that here that is here 5.075 billion quadrillions megawatts as in Ketan Agarwal's cargo ship kinetic powers. Now on the other hand, let's check on the Bashundhara groups. Okay. Now here we can calculate about the Bashundhara groups as the moments. Well, here we can see here Bashundhara group cargo ship velocity is 54 km per hour. Well, in these cases, Bangladesh is the enemy of India. And in these points, in the circumstances, what is the benefit of Bashundhara groups if and only if Ketan Agarwal would be died? Ketan Agarwal would be in heavens. Now, let's check at the moments. In that cases, this is sometimes as a shocking moment. Well, what is now Bashundhara's group's cargo ship is 54 km per hour. That means 54 multiple by 1000 divided by 3600 enter meter per second. Well, that means here 54. I apologize. That means here 540 divided by 36 meter per second. Now here we can see the points. What is 540 divided by 36? Here we can see the sponge. Now here, what is 540? That is 6 multiplied by 90. What is here 36? That means 6 square. Here we can see that would be the 90 divided by 6 enter meter per second. Now here is the moments. What is 6? What is 90 divided by 6? That is 15. That means here 54 kilometer per hour means here 15 meter per second. Okay, as a velocity. What is the velocity square? That is 225 meter per square per second square. And now the method to calculate the Bashundhara real estate group cargo ship kinetic energy is Isaac Newtonian kinetic energy. Okay. Now let's check at the moments. Well, cargo ship Bashundhara requires almost 22 cargo ships because here they want to build almost 32 storage building in lieu of 200,000 buildings. And now let's check at the moments. What is the points to be notified? Well, here we can see this points half of payload of here 22 cargo ship would be here just like 11 multiplied by 65 multiplied by 10 to the power 7 kilograms. Okay. Now here we can see there is the moments. What is 11 multiplied by 65 multiplied by 10 to the power 7? Now let's check at the moments. 11 multiplied by 65 multiplied by 10 to the power 7. Now let's check it. What is the points? And here we can see that would be 7.15 multiplied by 10 to the power 9 kilograms. Okay. And in these cases, now here we can see the points. That is here 715 multiplied by 10 to the power 7 kilograms. Okay. Now, well, what is the kinetic energy of here 22 cargo ship from Bashundhara real estate groups? Now let's check at the moments. Here the kinetic energy calculation is 715 multiplied by 225 multiplied by here 10 to the power 7. And now let's check at the moments. Now let's contest the significant calculation at the points. Well, I think here we can see these points. Well, 715 multiplied by 225 multiplied by 10 to the power 7. And now let's check at the moments. The kinetic energy is almost here 1.609 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 joules. Okay. And now let's convert the kinetic powers. Well, what is travel time to be 83 days 4 hours? That means 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 5 seconds. And now here we can see the points. 1.609 multiplied by 10 to the power 12 enter divided by bracket of 36 multiplied by 10 to the power 5. And now let's check at the points. Well, here we can see it is almost 447 kilowatts. Okay. Now here we can see these points. Let's check the moments. Well, now what is the capability of cargo ship real estate. What is the capability of Bashundhara real estate cargo ships? That is the kinetic power to be 447 kilowatts. On the other hand, what is the capability of Ketan Agarwal's cargo ship? That is to contain the kinetic power to be 5.075 billion quadrillions megawatts. Now here you can see this point. Where is 5.075 billion quadrillions megawatts, and where is here 447 kilowatts. And now this is the significant difference at the moment. Now why Ketan Agarwal records here 13,400 cargo ships with the kinetic powers to be 5.075 billion quadrillions megawatts to carry here structural steel to build the building in Haifa, the city of Israel, with where building would be containing 200,000 stories. Here Bashundhara real estate cargo ship can contain the kinetic power to be 447 kilowatt for 22 cargo ships to build 32 storage building in Haifa, the city of Israel. And now it is the moment at the point. So here we can see this point. If Ketan Agarwal would be alive, then what is the meaning of that? Well, if Ketan Agarwal would be alive. If Ketan Agarwal would be alive, here we can see the with the kinetic power to be 5.075 billion quadrillions megawatts. Here we could see here 200,000 storage building in Haifa, the city of Israel, would be true. And hence the contract between Haifa, the city of Israel, and Bangladeshi Bashundhara real estate group to build here 32 storage building would be cancelled. And now here that is the anger point for here Bangladeshi Bashundhara city groups. And now let's check is what's going on now let's check what's going on Shia Ghosals. Well, Shia Ghosals want to marry a feminine man who can be unemployed or useless son of the family, where the following son's biological sister would be here the real estate business women to be unscientific, that this following husband would be the favorite future husband in accordance with Shia Ghosals. And now in these cases, that is the knowledge of Bangladeshi Bashundhara real estate groups. And hence in these cases now here we can see real estate groups want to build 32 storage building in Tel Aviv, the city of Israel, by hook and by crook. And now in these cases, what is the way of Bangladeshi Bashundhara real estate group? That is to only to connect Shia Ghosals, to eliminate Shia Ghosals' future husband Ketan Agarwal. And now we can see now what is the benefits both of Shia Ghosals and Bangladeshi Bashundhara real estate groups. In that cases, there would be no man to be real estate businessman who can build 200,000 storage building in Haifa, the city of Israel. Well, where the following businessman would be from India. That is the wish of Sheikh Gosals. And here, that is the benefits of Sheikh Gosals. Now, on the other hand, what is the benefits of here? Now, let's take case. What is the benefit of whom? The benefits of Bashundhara Real Estate Group is the Bashundhara Real Estate Group would be the Bangladeshi Real Estate Group to build 32 storage building in Haifa, the city of Israel. And that is the points, that is the wish of Bashundhara Real Estate Groups. Okay. And now, let's check at the moments. Now, here we can see the irony is that here Sheikh Gosals, now we can measurement the Sheikh Gosals intelligence. Now, Sheikh Gosals intelligence there is that she can accept that Bangladeshi Bashundhara Real Estate Group can build 32 storage building in Haifa, the city of Israel, but Sheikh Gosals cannot tolerate that here her future husband Ketan Agarwal can build the 200,000 storage building in Haifa, the city of Israel. And that is here now the future project of Ketan Agarwal would be 200,000 storage building in Haifa, the city of Israel. That is the anger point of Sheikh Gosals. Because here we can see in family of the real estate business, where husband is a real estate businessman, when the following husband can build 200,000 building in Tel Aviv, the city of Israel, where there would be several 1,000 buildings. Each of 1,000 buildings can be here 200,000 storage. Then here we can see these points. The following husband do not tolerate here following wives baseless expenditures. And now here we can see that in that cases the following husband would be dominators. And here now here we can see Sheikh Gosals intelligence states that she cannot tolerate the scientific real estate businessman like Ketan Agarwal's existence, because Ketan Agarwal can build for 200,000 storage building in the Haifa, the city of Israel. And now let's take the moments. Well, now in real estate business, here 32 storage building is feminine and 200,000 storage building is masculine. And now it is the reasons here we can see an intelligence of women always support the masculine husbands, and Sheikh Gosals' intelligence is that she support the feminine husbands, and that is the moment. Okay. Now here we can see these moments. Well, now I am a lesbian. I can build here 200,000 buildings. I apologize. I can build 1,000 building in Haifa, the city of Israel, where every building out of 1,000 building contains 200,000 stories. In that cases, here, well, why I would accept the feminine vibes. Why I would accept the low intelligence women who wants me lesbian as the real estate business women to build 32 storied buildings. And now here is the moments, that is the points. Well, what is the Muskan Madam's states? She learned if women can give up her intelligence, they can be attractive. But what is the realities of man's statements? The man really states that if women contains the high intelligence, can look like ugly, but she can be attractive at the moment. Okay. And now 200,000 buildings at sometimes. Here we can see that is the significant terms at the points. Well, now here we can state that, well, here Sheikh is neither intelligence nor attractive. Okay? And now let's back to the points. What is the now let's check it. Now what is the fuels of that points? Okay. Now here we can see this the moments. Well, Bashundhara real estate groups cargo ship fuel is cargo ship oils, and on the other hand, here Ketan Agarwal's cargo ship fuel is artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Oh my gosh. Why are you here? Well, and now let's check at the moments. And here we could notify what's going on. Okay. Now here we can see a bracket of 1.015 multiplied by 10 to the power 30 joules as a kinetic energy can be divided by, well, bracket of parts. Bracket of here we can see 15,408 joule per kilogram per Kelvin as a specific heat of artificial solar arc reactor with a temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius multiplied by the following temperatures, bracket close. In that cases, well, here we can see that would be here 9.9 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 644 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with a temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Now, on the other hand, let's check at the moments. What is going on? Come on, babe. And now here you can see. What about the Bangladeshi Bashundhara real estate groups? Cargo ship volume. Here we can see 1.609 multiplied by 10 to the power 12. Joules as an energy can be divided by bracket of 200,000 joule per kilogram per Kelvin as a specific heat of cargo ship walls multiplied by 50 degrees Celsius as a highest temperature difference multiplied by 1.01 kilogram per liters as a density of cargo ship walls, bracket close. And now here we can see that is the what is the requirements. It is almost 16 million liters of cargo ship walls. That is the momentums at the points. Okay. Now we can see the points. Here we can see. Well, now What is the cargo ship masculinity? In this cases, the moments here, cargo ship masculinity here we could see that would be 60. What is when the topic is about fuel? That what is the masculines? That is here, cargo ship masculinity is 9.9 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 644 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with a temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And what is the feminine cargo ship fuel? That would be 16 million liters of cargo ship oils. Okay. Now why here 9.9 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 644 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius is masculine? Because that can carry here almost 6 billion metric tons of here structural steels to build here 200,000 storage one building in Haifa, the city of Israel. And now let's check at the moment. So, well, what about the 1,000 buildings? That would be here 9. Weight would be 9.9 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 641 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. And now, in this cases here, when women give up their intelligence, well, they cannot tolerate the existence of real estate businessman Indian to be future husband, where his cargo ship fuel weight is 9.9 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 641 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with the temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 to contains 6 billion metric tons to build here. I am going to contains here 6 trillion metric ton of structural steel to build here 1,000 building in Haifa, the city of Israel, where each out of 1,000 buildings contains here 200,000 stories. And now that would be here signature of masculinity of whom the real estate businessman Ketan Agarwal. Now here we can see there is the momentum at the points. Now, well, now here I can. That is the moments when women give up her intelligence. She cannot tolerate her scientific real estate businessman existence, where he would be her future husband. But when women contains the high intelligence, well, she would appreciate the real estate businessman's existence as her future husband, where the following real estate businessman can build here 200,000 storage 1,000 buildings in Haifa, the city of Israel, with carrying here 6 trillion metric tons structural steel, with here almost 13,400,000 cargo ships, with here fuel weight to be 9.9 multiplied by 10 to the power negative 641 kilograms of artificial solar arc reactor with a temperature of 666 multiplied by 10 to the power 666 degrees Celsius. Now here we can see the sponge. Well, the state women contest my future husband to be signed the following real Indian scientific real estate businessmen. And here the competitions of my husband Ketan Agarwal is here Bashundhara Real Estate Group to build a 32-story building in Haifa, the city of Israel. And now here we can see I cannot tolerate the existence of Bashundhara Real Estate Groups as a competition of my future husband Ketan Agarwal when I am the intelligent woman. In that case, here I would support my future husband Ketan Agarwal to eliminate here Bashundhara Real Estate Groups. And here we can see this points. When women can give up her intelligence, she would be the toxic feminist criminals. Like us Shia Ghosals, and the victim would be here Ketan Agarwal. And what is the benefit to who is the beneficial third person? That is Bangladeshi Real Estate Group Bashundhara. Okay, and now that is the significant dangerous moment at the points. Okay, and now here we can see that is the dangerous momentums as we can notify at the points. Okay, and now let's take it the moments. Now we can see what is the hypothesis if the wife of the chief executive officer of Samsung company would be a similar mindset as a Shia Ghosals. Here we are trying to find the same points because here the real check is about the buildings of Dubai, that would be Burj Khalifa. Okay, now here we can see these points at the moment. Wife of chief executive officer of Samsung company. And now let's check it. Well, the current chairman and the top chief executive of Samsung is Lee Jong-young. He is married to I.M. Ryong at 1998. On the other hand, now let's check it. After the marriage, what's moment of Dubai? Burj Khalifa. Okay. Now here you can see Burj Khalifa. Now this Burj Khalifa contains 163 stories. Okay. Now here we can see what if here Lim Si-ryong would eliminate here Lee Ji-young. Then here we can see Burj Khalifa would never be built. And now here we can when the Burj Khalifa would never be built because Lim Si-ryong would eliminate her future husband Wai Lee Song, the chief executive officer of Samsung company. Then here we can see it is the significant potential destruction of the gross domestic product of South Korea. And now in this case Burj Khalifa can never be built. Okay. And now here is the irony. What is the irony? Well, here is the irony is that here Lim Si Ryong counters no mentality to eliminate her future husband's Lee Ji Young, but on the other hand, in India, Sheikh Gosal counters a mindset to eliminate her future husband, here Ketan Agarwal. And now, let's check the following moments. In these cases, now here we can see what about the when the topic is Atul Shubhas, when the topic is about the Raja Raghuvanshi, and when the topic is Saurabh Bakas, the husband of Muskan Rastogi, in that cases here officially India's gross domestic products decreased 1 trillion United States dollars, and here unofficially Indian gross domestic products decreased almost 3 trillion United States dollars. And now we lost the Indian real estate businessman Ketan Agarwal, who is only near to Gautam Adani. Then what would be the circumstances of the future gross domestic products of India? Well, it is under the knowledge of Almighty Adonai. And now, here we can see that is the significant points. And in these cases, here we can see this woman's. Well, Indian real estate community's enemy can be get benefits. Here is the works of Sheikh Gosals. That is here. That is the evil intelligence of Sheikh Gosals. And now that is the dangerous for our Indian gross domestic products at the moment. Okay, now here we can see, I know here view is saturating, so here we can contest the comparison between Bashundhara versus Ketan Agarwal. And now let's check it at the moment, that is the significant dangerous points. And now in these points here we are ending the podcast of the podcast to roast the Muskan Madaan, but only for now. It is not end. It is the ending of the Ketan Agarwal death case, reality case. But it is not the ending of the podcast to roast Muskan Madaan. And here the announcement is we are going to contest a project to roast Donald Trump, where topic is here tariff on Bangladeshi products. Okay, and after that points, well, sometimes we would be back to roast Muskan Madaan, and here I can be here back to roast the feminist celebrity in the topic of NEET, because here we contest the significant results. Well, now see you then. Khuda Hafiz. Love you.